When you think of Nuzlocke, you probably think of Pokemon, the original and most commonly used series when it comes to this kind of challenge. Not too long back, I did one of these runs in Pokemon Shield, and, to be honest, wasn't the most fun. I started off enjoying it, but the farther in I got, the more frustrating and kind of boring it got. Everything was just so repetitive. But it got me thinking, what if instead of Pokemon, I used Persona? These two games aren't too similar, but the core functions needed in a Nuzlocke were all there. Collection, battles, bosses, and the ability to fail. Everything I needed to whip up some rules. Now that we're through my monologue, let me give you a rundown of said rules. Only the first Persona you fight in a section can be obtained. This means one per palace and one per mementos floor. And whatever Persona is highlighted on the top screen is the one you must take, unless you already have it in your inventory. If you get a full set of enemies that you already have, you can reroll your fights with a different shadow till you get a new one. If you do get a new shadow, but it dies, and all that's left are dupes, well, that's rough, buddy. No mask for you. Tutorial fight personas do not count as first fights, and cannot be collected with the exception of the Pixie. With the exception of the Pixie from the Persona Collection tutorial that you have to collect and use. But, for fairness, it must be combined with Arsene for the Persona Execution tutorial that happens soon after. If a different party member is knocked out, you must either remove them from your roster, or the persona currently in use. And, of course, if Joker is knocked out, remove the persona currently in use. All allies must be on manual mode, as soon as they are able to be. No setting anyone to automatically heal, or specifically go for crits or technicals, etc, etc. This doesn't stop me from using skills like Ryuji's insta-kill, or the rush option you can do in fight. And all mass game for that must be discarded. Now, there are also a few unwritten rules, but this is already getting too long, so I'll talk about them when and if it becomes necessary. Thank me later. Last thing, these videos are going to be split by the palace, so that I can talk about the boss, stones I've collected and lost, and the stats and confidants I'm gunning for and why. Without further ado, on to the Nuzlocke. Oh, Camo Shitta. The Palace of Lust in about 4,000 tutorials. This palace would be a good hour shorter, at least, if they just put all of them into that intro from this palace. But that's not important. Before we can collect our first non-Arsene persona, we're introduced to our first few teammates, including best girl, Ryuji Sakamoto. So anyways, the first hour or so of the palace is just tutorials, and tutorials with some story wormed in between. So I've opted to just skip up to when we are given Pixie, for the sake of time. Here is Pixie.
Remember how I taught you hold-ups and all-out attacks? There's another shadow. In other words, if you
another tutorial.
Knock down.
Knock her down.
Incredible Joker. Sorry. Oh, wait. Sorry. What the?
Alright. Required persona obtained. Once we get Pixie, the game immediately gives us another tutorial fight to show off our new mask, for letting us roam into the next area where we get our persona for this palace, Jack-o'-lantern. Which is honestly a pretty good pull for an early game persona. Good amount of early enemies have a weakness to one of the types on your team, Ryuji's electricity, Morgana's wind, or On's fire, making a persona with any of these three types of moves perfect to have as a starter. After a few quick fights for a bit of spare XP and a costume change, it's time for On to awaken to her persona and throw us into the first mini-boss. Belphegor, With our newly acquired jack-o'-lantern and On's fire attacks, this fight is, well, a bit scary due to a good wind attack knocking us and Ryuji down, almost comically easy, as we can just weak spam this guy till he's out. Now's the time we talk about a couple of our goals when it comes to stat and confidant levels, including our first two non-party members, Takumi and Iwai. Alright, first off we have Takumi, the Death Arcana, which we need to get to about rank 5 to obtain all of our usable items. 7 lowers the cost, but as of writing this, I'm on chapter 5 and haven't used her since that first visit. She unlocks mid-May. Max necessary stats for her are Guts 2 to get to the point that we are going for. Iwai, who is the Hanged Confidant, ironically enough, we need to get to about rank 7 to 10, depending on if we want everything for the low price of $3.99. He unlocks at the beginning of May, and the max necessary stats are Guts 4 to 5, depending on full clear or not. Guts 4 is needed to start. With that out of the way, it's back to the palace. Ann gets her new name. We get called into the Velvet Room to combine Arsene and Pixie into Agathion.
Again.
Dun, 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 da, da, dun, da, 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 da. Can I not skip this? I cannot skip this. We get to watch Arsene get murdered. Oh, and Pixie, you know. You don't see this in Pokemon. And now it's time to grind through the palace. Takes a total of maybe 30 minutes to get to the first mini-boss checkpoint, and damn, there's a lot of tutorials. They're still going! Skip through this, start the fight. We don't have anyone that's, like, weak to this, right? We take on the last real mini-boss in the palace, Archangel. Originally this fight was something I was a bit nervous about, had some trouble with it in testing, and figured there was a chance it would get a lucky KO on someone. It's another tutorial. Guarding my only receives damage. Alright, so what I'm hearing is let's guard for this first turn. This is absolutely not a good idea to not. Ooh, that still did half damage. I mean, you know what? It would have killed otherwise. Okay. I don't know what this is weak to, but I have all 3 of the main damage types that we have.
Calm down.
So, yeah, calm down. I'm calm. Totally. I'm totally calm. Alright. Heavenly Punisher. I'm going to look over here to see if it says. The only thing is, as much as it says something, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. You know, if I use this, yeah, it's resistant over here. I might want to use a turn over here. Let's try again. Zap. And let's use fire. Yeah, okay, so it's resistant to those. It's composed. Let's try a gun. 2 guns. 3 guns. Per gun, I guess. Lowest accuracy thing in the entire thing, I think. Alright. Now we guard. We're gonna have to take advantage of guards during this fight. So I think otherwise it will one. It does not like Ryuji. What did Ryuji do to you? Alright, it didn't like those. I'm guessing it's probably resistant to this too, but let's check. No, normal. Okay. Let's use this to heal Ryuji up.
Sorry.
Let's do a regular attack. Another regular attack. I mean, Ann has a healing ability too, doesn't she? Wait, that gets 45. What do we get from our regular attack? 32. Alright, so this is still our better attacker. This. Another one of those. It's charging. It's charging, but it's low enough that we might be able to just take it out. Morgana, please take this out. Okay, there we go. After the Grania did before the fight, however, this guy was an absolute cakewalk. No worries at all. My initial level cap for this palace was at 15, which is not correct. The boss is actually only level 10, luckily for us, without the assistance of Mementos or Mishima. Leveling in this palace takes so long that I spent around 2 hours grinding fights only to barely hit around 10 or 11. Still within the set cap of 15, but definitely closer to what we should have been at. Up to this point, it's been rather smooth sailing, with at most a small scare here and there to deal with. This would soon come to an end. Around the same time, I decided we were done going for levels. The only thing is, the moment we get out of a fight, we are going to need to run.
Now's our chance to strike. Go!
Alright, regular attack. Sleep him.
All right.
Technical.
Nice one. They're at your mercy.
You're dizzy. Do I have other ones? I have a total of 2 personas to my name. Of course I don't have other ones. Okay, dizzy.
Panther's off her feet.
Didn't like that.
What's happening? Panther's been taken out. Someone treat her.
I don't think we can remove people from our team, so it's gonna be bye-bye to one of my personas. And a new plan. Yeah. So, I hope you weren't too attached to Jack-O-Lantern. As I mentioned there, we don't have the ability to take people off the team until we get Yusuke. So, we are now down one persona, and we are also getting the hell out of there. Back in the real world, we need to work on our stats and confidants, gaining 2 points of knowledge between LeBlanc's crossword and the school questions, point of kindness from cleaning up LeBlanc. We bought ourselves a TV, some books, and a Guts DVD that we later then use to rank our Guts up to 2, which will get us ready for Takami's confidant. Speaking of, we start our confidants both with Takami and Sojiro, allowing us a bit more freedom before ranking Ryuji up to level 2. Now, finally, it's time for the calling card, designed and written by my favorite Phantom Thief in the game, Ryuji Sakamoto. I'm not biased. Trust. Ryuji posts the calling card the next morning, Kamoshida immediately blames us, he's not wrong, and then we head into the palace to fight the boss and collect the treasure that Morgana's being rather weird about. The boss itself isn't that bad, only containing about 3 main phases, starting with the trophy cup. The start of the fight, in general, is probably the second easiest part overall, with you spending a few rounds hitting Kamoshida and healing until he eventually eats a pair of legs from his trophy to reset his HP bar. That's a sentence. After that, you switch to focus down and beat that cup till it shatters. After that, we have, in my opinion, the easiest phase. After a quick all-out attack on Kamoshida, he calls in reinforcements, starting with Mishima. You can't attack or stop Mishima from setting the ball, so for the first turn, everyone has to block. Because he lived, he sends away the moon and brings out Suzui, who is our first enemy in this fight with a weakness. While she prepares the set, we use all of our collective ammo to delete her health bar and prevent Kamoshida's next attack. That's all Phase 2 is, by the way. You can easily end it in 2 turns if you have good guns and full ammo. The last phase is the longest and most annoying, mostly because Morgana yells at us the entire time about doing more damage. You have to either send Morgana or Ryuji to knock the crown off Kamoshida's head, and yourself do a consistently good amount of damage to keep him distracted. You could also just attack with your full team and ignore the mission side of it, which is something I didn't know you could do originally, but in retrospect, seems like the smarter play. Nevertheless, once you knock that crown off, it's just a 1-2 KO and the boss is dead. I mean, sadly, not, but you get what I mean, we won. Kamoshida momentarily tries to flee, but with nowhere to go, he fully surrenders and the palace starts to crumble around us. And that marks the end of the palace itself. All that's left now is to wait out the deadline. While boosting our stats and confidence, let's go! While we're waiting, we get a massive 5 kindness from feeding the room plant and breeding, 4 knowledge from the crosswords, class questions, and studying, 6 guts from, again, studying and watching TV and movies, and 6 charm for making coffee, reading, and watching TV. Outside of that, we rank Sojiro to rank 2, which gives us a bonus 2 kindness, bringing us up to rank 2. We also rank Takumi up not once, but twice, getting a combined 2 more guts points. La Tuesday. Lastly, we rank Ryuji up to 3 before hitting the deadline. Maybe? I think that's what it was.
What's with this?
So we should be able to get some stat boosts up there too. And we only get 1 per, but we do get multiple stats, and especially if we go during bad weather. Place the motorcycle, that's all that I remember. Yep. I mean, you're not wrong, it is the place with the motorcycle. I wonder if it's, Aragaki's motorcycle. This audio is gonna sound bad. I'm doing this, like, as I'm editing. I don't know what I was on about. Aragaki does not have a motorcycle. I think who I'm thinking of might have been Tatsuya. I don't know how I would have mixed those up, but that's my working theory. I don't count section is done, till our lawyer shows our next target and we get a summary update. So, we do have a few last things to go over. First off, we gained yet another 2 points of charm before heading to Iwai to pawn up the gold medal we got as Kamoshida's treasure. He promptly shoves 30,000 and a gun into our hands and ushers us out the door, which we on probation obviously roll with no hesitation before heading off to the all-you-can-eat buffet. We bump into a certain problem for later at the elevator before officially naming ourselves as Phantom Thieves, and finally getting grilled by our lawyer. That wraps up this first palace with only 1 casualty. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, perhaps press some buttons and let me know that. Oh, thank you. Hope to see you guys back next time, and for now,